What is up, everybody? My name is Justin. This is Forever Self-Employed. In today's video, we are going to be talking about how to land million-dollar clients and close big-ticket jobs. But before we get into that, I do want to mention me and Aaron recently created a mentorship group to answer all your pressure washing questions. We also go live every other week doing Facebook ad critiques, talking about secret marketing strategies, as well as how Aaron was able to rank his Google My Business #1 in a bunch of areas around Nashville. So if you're interested and want to be a part of the group, check out the first link in the comment section and the description. But if you're not ready for that, the second link is going to be to the pressure washing business course. But with that out of the way, let's go ahead and jump right into the video. I'm joined with a special guest, Aaron. How's it going, man?
What up, cuz?
Dude, we need your expertise on this high-end clientele because I'll be honest, the highest end house that I've ever washed might have been like, I don't know, 300,000-400,000, but you've done million-dollar homes, right?
Oh yeah, all the time.
My first question is there any difference in how you're quoting these? Is there any difference in like how we're speaking to the customer? Do you usually even talk to the customer? What does that look like when you're going out and doing $1 million estimate quote?
These customers really appreciate someone who is a professional, because a lot of times these people are professionals in their own right, and they're doctors, they're lawyers. These are people who really walk tall usually in their life in general, right? So they really appreciate someone who is not cowering or doesn't feel out of place at their property. They want someone who feels comfortable at $1 million property and can, basically lead them around the joint and say what they're going to do, how they're going to do it. So yeah, it's a little different. I kind of walk with that confidence anyway. Just that's how I am. That's how I've always been. So you have to be able to muster that, or maybe, I don't like to say fake it till you make it, but that might be what I'm saying. So you need to figure that out and be certain when you're on site with these people.
And I mean, I'm sure the first time that you went out and did a higher end home estimate, it was a little bit different than what you would be doing now. I'm sure you kind of had to build a little bit of that courage and muster it up a little bit over time, right?
Yeah, because you don't know what you're talking about in the beginning, right? You're totally just kind of faking it. You're hoping you get the job. Hopefully, you watching this right now have the courage to quote those jobs at what a higher ticket would be. A lot of times those customers are rather offended at the cheap guy. They don't like the cheap guy. And I know many people who get started in our business, in our world, they grew up blue collar, right? They grew up with not a lot of money. No rich guys are getting started in pressure washing. I assure you about that. All right. So a lot of us have worked for a living. So the big thing with that is you just cannot think that these people are like you. They're just not. Okay. They just spend money on things that you don't. And so you almost have to take yourself out of your own mind, out of your own body, your own experiences, and sit in their shoes a little bit and walk like they would walk and mirror them in that way.
And from that perspective, I mean, yeah, the highest priced guy might get the job just because they might associate that with the highest end work, right? Because that's what they spend money on.
A lot of times. Absolutely. Yeah.
Okay, beautiful, man. So let's kind of talk about some of the liabilities. There's obviously got to be more liability when washing a more expensive home. So can you kind of talk about that, and what should we be looking out for? Any further precautions we should take, stuff like that?
There's always more liability on high-end homes. They always have unique fountains, unique stone, unique finishes that they want to maintain, copper gutters. They have ornamental vine placements that crisscross, and they have a guy that comes every week and places the vines in the right spot. It's a lot different than old brick and vinyl house where you and I grew up, right?
Absolutely.
So how to, understand those liabilities and mitigate that, one of the things that I have taken into account is sometimes, if it's too crazy, I'm not going to take it. If I think that there's a lot, and that's how I walk in on every job. Like, I'm walking in on every single job positioning like I'm not going to do it. That's it. Like, I'm trying to find almost a reason, if they give me one, that I'm not going to do the job, because I only do jobs that I know I can knock out of the park. Okay. If there's some sketchy wiring or some sketchy stuff going on, or contractors are in and out all the time, or you know what I'm saying? Just leaks and I can see some flashing, like I don't know. I really like getting in and out with that easy money, but I also like delivering as best I can.
Okay, absolutely. So with there being more liabilities, obviously, if you guys do not have a contract in place already, check out the first link in the comment section description. We had lawyers put together a contract for you guys to kind of protect you, mitigate some of those liabilities from you, and put them back onto the customer. But Aaron, do you market any differently to get these higher end customers, or do you just do your normal marketing?
So, I mean, these people are very convenience based. They like what they like and they want it now. All right. That's how rich people are. Okay. And you can't look down on that with some type of, thing like you don't like them or something for that. That's what they are. And so you have to work in their environment, right? So with me, I talk a lot about Google. I talk a lot about SEO. Like all of my leads come from being number one, number two, whatever in those areas where they're Googling on their phone. They see my reviews. They see my site. It shows up, right? So that's how we get a lot of those calls. Facebook ads work as well. I like to position high ticket if I'm going for high ticket. We clean the Mercedes-Benz dealership here in Nashville, Tennessee. And obviously that's a huge thing. A lot of these high-end people are driving the G-Wagons, they're driving the Mercedes. So I document a lot of photos on site there, and I can basically parlay that onto using your strategy, right, with Facebook ads and stuff like that, to where it's I'm matching them where they are. They want to work with someone who has worked with Mercedes-Benz type luxury, right? They want to work with those same people. So they're not trying to hire, Bumpkin, Ricky Tommy over here. They're wanting to work with somebody who they can trust and somebody who's almost as much like them, but is still a contractor.
Right. So it all kind of goes back to positioning, and that's like a next level of marketing. I think a lot of guys, when they first get into the business, it's like, how do I get as many jobs as I can? Let me work for whoever I can. But once you kind of get to where you're at, got a ton of lead flow coming in, you kind of be a little bit more selective with what comes in. Let's position ourselves so that way we do this higher end work, we get paid better. And ultimately, would you rather do mostly just higher end homes rather than, some lower end stuff?
Yeah, I enjoy some of that. Where you start getting a little sketchy is where you start having what I was saying, like they got unique fountains, they got a koi pond that butts like right up to the house, and they're wanting you to clean certain walls, and it's like you start getting a little too exotic,
right?
And that's where it starts going backwards. But if you just have like a big Mediterranean Tuscan type home that's drive it and it's got some green on it, it's massive, or they got like a massive pool stone area that's layered up and everything, and a bunch of walkways, and it's all green. Those are awesome. You just want to make sure that you kind of steer clear of the too exotic koi pond, okay? Because those koi will be sleep, okay? You will make koi go to sleep, all right?
Right, and then you're really going to need a contractor, else you're going to have to cover up thousands of dollars.
Thousands of dollars, absolutely.
Right. And I love the mindset of coming at it more selective. You're coming onto the property like, I'm probably not going to do this job. It's almost as if the customer needs to convince me that I'm going to be doing this job. And I love that approach, because a lot of guys are just so needy and they want all the work. They want as much work as possible. They'll do anything. There's no minimum pricing, and this is like a complete, 180 on that mindset.
It's just like a woman, Justin. All right.
Right.
Don't no woman want you that you won't. All right. If you walk on site and you're like, I don't know, I might not do this deal. You know what I mean? Right. Why is she all over you, man? She coming after you now. You see, right. It's the same thing with sales. If you need it, they don't want you. If you don't need them, they calling you back. Sometimes I've had guys or customers who I didn't, get around to calling them back, right? I had so much lead flow that somehow they fall through. They call me back. They're like, hey, I need an estimate. This is the second time they're calling me. It ain't like there isn't other people doing washing.
Right.
They didn't go to the next lead. They know my position. They've seen my site. They've seen how all of my marketing is layered and the optics of it. They call me back again asking for an estimate. So that's when you know that you have positioned your business in a place where it is preeminent, right? When a customer doesn't move to the next guy, they've already seen you. They see your reviews. They see how well done your site is, right? They see how it's ranking. They can't get away from you, right? All they see is Nashville clean. They see you see what I mean? You've created this cast net where the little fish get out of the holes, right? And the big fish are trapped.
Right.
Everything from my rhetoric to the way I speak, to how I talk to them, to how I position with them on the phone, everything is dialed in to where it's almost irresistible. I'm completely speaking their language. Right. I even have customers that'll ask me on site to do certain things. I'll just tell them no. And they'll be like, well, why not? I'll be like, well, here's why. Because if we do that with that chemical, it's going to destroy it. And I'm not even going to let you, Rhonda, destroy your own stuff. And she's like, thank you so much. She calls me back every single year. She was always trying to destroy stuff. She lives in a multi-million-dollar home. And I'm like, we're not doing that. I'm not going to let you do that. So I am their trusted advisor in this position. I won't just facilitate because the customer wants to. I am truly, like you said, dictating who I take, who I work with, and most people don't make the cut.
Right. And we have to do a whole other video on mindset, because complete 180 on mindset. You're coming from an abundance mindset. You were the one choosing, and you've completely flipped the switch. And that's the reason why everything flows. But that is like much more like self-development-esque type stuff. But we'll cover that in another video. Aaron, thank you so much for joining me on this one. We need a word of the day, obviously. So which one? What do you got?
High ticket.
The word of the day is high ticket. If you made it this far in the video, comment down below high ticket and I'll hashtag you a real one. My name is Justin. Be sure to check out those links in the description. But until next time, hustle hard and get that money, baby. Peace.